the summer break is finally over. 3 weeks or no Formula One. It returns this weekend for the 2019 Belgian Grand Prix. The 65th time that we'll be going to Belgium for a Grand Prix in Formula One. One of the original races dating all the way back to 1950 when Formula One first started out. And it's actually the 53rd time that we are going to the legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit, a race that actually I want to go to at some point in my lifetime. I've always said I want to go to the big four races: Silverstone, Italy, Monaco and Belgium. I've been to two of them, and I'm just waiting to go for the other two. Lyle, on the other hand, has been to all of them, so yeah, not jealous in the slightest. But I'm hoping that Belgium continues this amazing form of races that we are having, you know, stretching all the way back to the Austrian Grand Prix, when we had that brilliant race between Leclerc and Max Verstappen. Then of course the British Grand Prix, then the German Grand Prix, utter chaos. Then the Hungarian Grand Prix brought a little bit of spice, just to add to them four amazing races. So let's hope that no one has lost any of their racing ability or racing excitement, if you like, and let's hope that Ferrari might have sorted their strategy out during that 3-week period. Doubt it, but you never know in Formula One, do you? But before we jump into anything else, let's remind ourselves of the standings coming into the Belgian Grand Prix. So Lewis Hamilton leads the way on 250 points, 62 points ahead of his teammate Valtteri Bottas, who's got 188. Max Verstappen, the guy in form, 181 points. Sebastian Vettel in 4th. Charles Leclerc in 5th place, 132. Pierre Gasly joining Toro Rosso again for the remainder of the season in 6th place. Carlos Sainz only 5 points behind Pierre Gasly on 58 points. Kimi Räikkönen in 8th place, Daniel Kvyat in 9th place, and Lando Norris only 3 points behind him in 10th place on 24 points. Taking a look at the bottom half of the table then, the Renault of Daniel Ricciardo on 22 points, Lance Stroll in the Racing Point on 18 points in 12th place, 13th place is K-Mag, who matches him in points in the Rich Energy Haas. Daniel Ricciardo's teammate Nico Hülkenberg in 14th place on 17 points. New Red Bull driver Alex Albon is in 15th place on 16 points. Sergio Perez having a very disappointing season so far in 16th place on 13 points. Romain Grosjean in 17th, Antonio Giovinazzi in 18th, Robert Kubica in 19th, and George Russell props up the field in 20th place on 0 points. The only driver not to score points this season so far. So there we go then, there is the standings, just to remind ourselves as to who is where after the Hungarian Grand Prix, because I'm still a bit lost when it comes to, you know, when I've been away from Formula One for so long, if you like. It's even worse in the winter break. So during the summer break, it's only 3 weeks, but I'm like, where's all my files, where's everything else? Okay, what's the standings like? It's just I'm just all over the place. So normally about now I'm normally doing my predictions, but I thought I'll do something a little bit different this week, and I thought I'd give you just some stats, some like form for the drivers as to who is on form really coming into this Grand Prix. It was something that we're just going to add into these previews. I've got a little bit of stats for you guys, if anyone that is interested. So I've done some calculations as to who's gained more points in the last 5 races, and actually the guy in form at the moment, no surprise, is the man of the moment, Max Verstappen, who has got 90 points. I mean, that is just incredible in my opinion, absolutely incredible. Bear in mind that he's up against the likes of Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes, Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, Vettel in the Ferrari, and Bottas in the Red Bull, Bottas in the Mercedes. Sorry, I mean that is just spot on in my opinion. Definitely very, very good from Max Verstappen. 5 races, 90 points he has scored. Lewis Hamilton actually comes home in 2nd place in that kind of run on 64 points he scored in his last 5 races. Charles Leclerc is on 60. Then you got Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes on 55 points, and as well as Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari, Charles Leclerc's teammate, of course. He also scored 55 points in that period of time. Carlos Sainz, on the other hand, he's only scored 40 points. Now you're probably thinking, well, why bring Carlos Sainz into this? Well, there's only 3 drivers that have scored points in that duration of that period of time between France and this Grand Prix now, and those 3 drivers are Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, and Carlos Sainz. They've all scored points from France up until Hungary, which is very impressive on Carlos Sainz's part as well. So yeah, Carlos Sainz really is one of the man of the moment, to be totally honest. A bit on the low side when it comes to the media kind of thing. No one really seems to give him a lot of credit. I know that he's a well-experienced driver, but if you think about it, he's doing really, really well in that McLaren, and let's face it, guys, that midfield is very, very tight. He's beating his teammate Lando Norris, which he should be doing. But to be fair, he's in 7th place. More than likely, now that Gasly's in the Toro Rosso, no disrespect to Toro Rosso, but I think Sainz can go for that 6th place to break into that top 6. How good would that be? Not just for Sainz, but for McLaren as well. For me personally, a McLaren fan, that would be incredible. That would be absolutely incredible. So in terms of points, it's Spa for the drivers. Anyway, Sebastian Vettel has scored 139 points at this Grand Prix circuit, and Lewis Hamilton has scored 134 points. So Hamilton will be definitely more than likely going to be winning this Grand Prix, or certainly one of the favourites. Ferrari, who knows? Who knows what to expect from them this weekend? Now, Ferrari fans, hide away from this one, because this time last year, Sebastian Vettel won the Grand Prix in good fashion. Let's not forget, that was a brilliant race from Sebastian Vettel. That was the last time he won a Grand Prix in Formula 1, a year ago. In fact, just over a year ago. I mean, that's bad. That's really bad. Bearing in mind that Verstappen's won, what, 4 races in that period of time, I believe, 4 or 5 races. So that's brilliant on his behalf. Terrible on Ferrari. So Ferrari do need to, kick up, start pulling the finger out or do something, kick up each other's backsides and get the arse into gear and start getting some decent results on the board, because it hasn't been a good season. I mean, everyone knows that, don't they? Which, in fact, guys, Ferrari have scored the most points out of any constructor at the Belgian Grand Prix. 493.5 points they have scored at this Grand Prix circuit. Nearly 500. That's still good. But they have been in Formula 1 since day 1. Or race 2, rather, if you want to go that far. So, who knows? That's why they've got a lot of points ahead of everybody else. McLaren's only on 300 points, which is a massive margin behind Ferrari, and Mercedes is on 246 points, which if they get a 1-2 and the fastest lap, then they'll close that gap to about 10 points, and of course they'll be on 290 points if my calculations are correct. I could be wrong, but that's what I worked it out as, 290 points. And 2 of those drivers, I did mention Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel, both have won this Grand Prix 3 times. Kim Raikkonen, the Finnish driver, former Ferrari driver, current Alfa Romeo driver, he's on 4 wins so far, and if any of those 2 drivers win, and I'm talking about Lewis Hamilton or Sebastian Vettel, then of course they will match Kim Raikkonen in terms of most wins at this Grand Prix circuit. Kimi has always been known for doing well at Spa, so I think Kimi definitely should be a one to watch, without a doubt. Definitely a one to watch for Kimi. That Alfa Romeo, in that car, he's solid. He's very, very reliable, very quick. 4th place, who knows? 4th, 5th place, if anything goes wrong up front, I think Kimi would be there. He does know the circuit pretty well. And only 2 drivers have scored in every single round so far this season, which is, of course, no surprise to those 2 drivers. It's Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. 2 drivers on hot form right now. And, just my last stat as well, the only team, which you probably know this one anyway, the only team to have none of their drivers retire so far this season, no, it's not Mercedes, no, it's not Ferrari, and it's not Red Bull. It's the Williams. I mean, that is a very surprising stat. They're very slow, but they're very reliable. So that's very good on Williams' behalf anyways. Let's see how they get on in the remaining races from now until Abu Dhabi on the 1st of December. Progress-wise, they have been doing, they're getting there or thereabouts. I can't see them, making massive amount of progress, but hopefully they can close the gap from like 2 seconds to like a second or even half a tenth, 0.5 of a second or half a second at least to that midfield group, because Williams, they need to sort something out, don't they? It's very sad to see them so far behind, but they are making good progress. Let's see how they do in the remaining races. So now it's time to hand over to Lyle for his top 3 for the Belgian Grand Prix. Our predictions will be going forward to the prediction league that we have got going on. If you don't know much about it, go and check out on our Twitter at F1_Day16 to find out more. But I will be making a video, probably being released tomorrow on Friday, where I'll be explaining how the prediction league will work. If you do want to enter as well, know that all the details and everything, scoring system, prizes and stuff like that, will be in that video tomorrow. So go and check that out when that video drops live tomorrow. But yes, let's hand over to Lyle and let's see what his top 3 will be for this Grand Prix.
The last time we had trading places, Max won the next race. But I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think Alexander Albon winning in Belgium, that would be impressive. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But they still, even if he did win, though, they'd still probably find a way to kick him back down to Toro Rosso. You know Red Bull, they're not going to change. And nevertheless, so this is the Belgian Grand Prix, the second part of the Formula 1 season. It's really good, it's really big, it's an old school circuit, and we are a sprint finish to Abu Dhabi. So I'm going to kick off my predictions and say in third place is going to be Valtteri Bottas. Now, after Hungary, Valtteri is now in the firing line. The man who came in to replace Nico for what was called a seat filler, even though we didn't believe that, is under the cusp about possibly, where's he going to go next year? Is Ocon going to be in the seat, even though now there's rumours that he's going to go to Renault, even though that's been floating around for ages. Is Valtteri going to be in that seat next year? Well, I don't think there's anything to worry about. We'll have to watch our predictions to find out what we say. But if there is, he needs to really perform better than he is at the start of the year. Now, of course, he has 3 wins to his name. He has second place in the World Championship. He is probably the only man who can bring the fight to Lewis Hamilton, but nevertheless, he is still under the cusp, especially by Toto Wolff, his teammate. He's been beaten by Lewis Hamilton, who obviously he got more points than him, obviously, in Australia in the first round, winning in Australia. So Valtteri definitely needs to get some good results. Now, Spa hasn't played in his favour when he was a Mercedes driver in the last 2 years, and even at Williams. It's been a track that he just hasn't been able to find the best pace out of, but I do think that all that determination of my seat is under threat is going to pull him forward. I do think it will be a good finish on the podium, though Mercedes, the best team, they'd probably think that third place wasn't great for him. I do think that third place is good enough for him to basically retain a few more races of Valtteri's safe. But as I say, it is just one more race where he has to keep progressing. To be honest, the end of the season has to be great for Valtteri. This will be a great start for him, nevertheless. So third place for Valtteri, I do think that will be strong. Second place, I'm going to go for Lewis Hamilton, his teammate at Mercedes. Great race in Hungary by him. Of course, the strategy by Mercedes, they got it spot on, as they always do. Really brought the fight to Max Verstappen, even though it would have been great to see, of course, Max win. But yes, a great race by Lewis Hamilton. Of course, he is running away in the World Championship. He's over a victory ahead of Valtteri Bottas. He is not really going to get caught. I do think Lewis is going to win the World Championship, if there's any doubt amongst you guys watching. And yes, Lewis Hamilton, he will have a good win. Now, he's won here before, but he has had some heartache before here. Nevertheless, this race, I do think he will emulate last year's victory and play second best to the winner and get onto second place. That's another Mercedes podium, and that extends their lead in the Constructors, even though they are going to win in a few races' time, they're going to win the Constructors. So it's not really much of a worry for them. But Lewis and Valtteri on the podium. Valtteri in third, Lewis in second. And that frees up a spot for the winner. Is it going to be Max Verstappen? Is it going to be Alexander Albon? Is it going to be Daniel Ricciardo? Well, it could be Daniel Ricciardo. One of the drivers that I was thinking about was Sebastian Vettel. Of course, this now marks his 1 year anniversary. Not of his marriage, not of his kid, not of his World Championship, but his last victory in Formula 1. Now, he will not want that. He will not want to be remembering that. So I was going to say Seb, but I just don't think Ferrari have the pace to show in Belgium this year. So I'm going to go for a bit of a strange one, and I'm going to say that Charles Leclerc, his teammate at Ferrari, will get the victory. Now, I've been very impressed by Charles this year. I wanted him to win more races than he's gone into. Basically playing the underdog, I did think that he was going to take the victories. He has two pole positions. He has 0 wins for that. It's quite unfortunate for him. He is currently 4th, I think, in the World Championship. Playing second fiddle to Sebastian Vettel. But of course, definitely supporting Ferrari in the Constructors. Obviously, sit at second place. They are not going to catch Mercedes, unfortunately. So Charles Leclerc, yes, it's just a bit of a hunt. I do think that he will have a good race. Now, last year, he had a good finish here with Sauber. Now, this year, yes, I do think that he will lift the trophy. I've just got a good feeling about him. I just got a good feeling about Charles Leclerc. So I'm going to say that it's the two Mercedes of, so third place, Bottas, second place, Hamilton, and in first place, Charles Leclerc. I'll say Sebastian Vettel, hopefully a strong race by him, but I just can't really put my finger on why. I don't think that he will really shine here in Spa. Max Verstappen really impressing, so much so. I've really been impressed so much by him. Hungary was a bit of a lapse, unfortunately, for him, but I do think that he is going to show a good showing for him and also his Dutch fans who will be coming across the border to watch him. Obviously, the limited edition caps are where you can buy them in Belgium. So he will have some good support. Also, Alexander Albon, the new driver at Red Bull, he will have some good support there in this very controversial time. As I said at the start, Max Verstappen did win the race in 2016 Spain. I don't think that Alex is going to do that this race, but it should be a good showing from him. Also, as well, Daniel Ricciardo. I have a feeling that he will have a good result. 2014 winner here, came in with his back-to-back wins of Hungary and Belgium in that year, obviously outscoring his teammate Sebastian Vettel at Red Bull. Have a good feeling about him. I think that should be really, really good from them. Racing Point as well, they have done quite well around here. I remember last year they got onto the third and fourth on the grid, and they jumped the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton and the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel, going down up the Kemmel Straight on lap one before the safety car came out. It's only a little thing from them. I think they finished third and fourth in that fourth and fifth, in that race. It's only a little thing, but it just shows that they are really making some good progress. Sergio Perez, very strong. Lance Stroll doing better than everyone says. Obviously, the critics, it's all about money, but I do think that Lance Stroll is a strong driver. So it's going to be a massive, great showing from Belgium. But I do think that the team that I'm really excited to watch is, of course, my team, which is Red Bull Racing. Alexander Albon, the new driver at Red Bull. It's really, really exciting. It's strange. Train Places 1 was strange when Max was brought in to replace Daniel. This one is strange as well, but it's exciting. Also, how Pierre is going to do at Toro Rosso, because if you remember, when Danny Kvyat went back to Toro Rosso, he kind of wasn't himself after that. Is Pierre going to go through the same amount of problems? And on the flip side, is Alexander Albon going to perform to the best of his ability, matching or even beating Pierre Gasly's performance this year? And how's he going to favour against Max Verstappen? I don't expect him to beat the Dutchman, of course not. Pierre didn't at all. The only thing he did in is FP1s, but I'm told not to say that anymore. But yes, how is he going to do against Max in Red Bull Racing, the team that keeps replacing? They don't really, the team that are like an excited kid at Christmas or in a toy store. They don't know what they want, and they keep picking up all these toys, and they're just like, I don't want that. I picked it up, I've walked around for an aisle with it. Mother said, like, do you really want this? I should. And they've gone, no, I don't know. I've put it back, got something else. That's what Red Bull are. And I don't think that's ever going to change. But as I said, though, in the other episode we did about the change, Max is going for the title. And Red Bull don't really need this headache of, swapping and changing drivers. But they have done it. And let's see how Alex can do. So they're definitely there. They're my team to watch. And my driver to watch is Alex. I assume Jordan's will be the same. I hope you agree with his predictions as well. And yes, back to the studio, Jordan, and roll on the second part of the season. I'll see you all on Sunday for the review, which done by me. So I'm excited.
So there you go then. There's Lal's predictions. He's predicted Valtteri Bottas, Lewis Hamilton, and Charles Leclerc. Very, very interesting predictions, I must say. Now let us know your predictions in the comment section below. If you do want to enter our prediction league, then of course you can. But if you don't want to, but if you do want to leave your predictions anywhere, then let us know. Just basically say, okay, I don't want to be in the prediction league. If you don't want to be, of course, you don't have to be. So my predictions are my entry for our first round of predictions. Now I'm going to go with 3 different drivers from 3 different teams for my predictions, and I'm going to go with in third place to kick things off for me is Max Verstappen. Now, I did say Verstappen was the guy in form right now, 90 points from 5 races. That's very impressive. Coming into Belgium, I really don't know how that Red Bull will perform. It's not the quickest car in a straight line. However, aerodynamically, it is quite good. So I think in some corners, Red Bull will gain tenths in corners, but then lose it again in the straights. And there is a lot of long straights in Spa. So I think Red Bull may lose out on that behalf, but I think Verstappen will still be up there. I don't think it'll be a pole positions. Battling for the race victory, it depends how the weather pans out, because the weather can be so unpredictable in Belgium. It's ridiculous. Like the weather forecast for this weekend, it's sunny all round, but don't take that for granted, because anything could happen in Belgium. It could just literally, click your fingers and it's absolutely gushing it down with rain. So, anything could happen. And if it rains, everyone's on a level playing field. So who knows what might happen. But I'm not, Red Bull's certainly, I'm keeping my close eye on them, on Red Bull. How Albon will do especially. He's definitely a one to watch. Can he get on the podium? I don't think so, but I don't think it's unrealistic to say Albon won't be on the podium this season, because I think he will be. I really do think Albon will be on the podium. I don't think so this weekend. But look what happened last time. Red Bull swapped their drivers mid-season and a new guy came into the fold. What did he do on his first race? He won it. And that, of course, was Max Verstappen in the last trading places. So Albon to win the Grand Prix, no. I don't think lightning will strike twice. I'll be so surprised if it does. So that's for me. I've gone with Max Verstappen in third place. Second place. It's always a tricky one, isn't it? The top three, because you don't know what's going to happen. You can only think, in hindsight, really. In a way, I was trying to think of the word there, but I'll shut up anyway. I'm going to go with in second place. I'm going to go with Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton coming off the back of 2 out of the last 3 Grand Prix that he's won. Solid job. Winning the last race in Hungary in solid fashion, overtaking Max Verstappen, had a really good battle with him. I'm hoping for more of the same, but I think Hamilton might have the edge over the Dutchman this weekend because he's in a better car. He's just like a better driver, but who knows? That's a debate. We've actually already covered that debate. Very controversial one as well. So yeah, I think Hamilton for me will have a good weekend. I'm guessing a pole position. Good job all weekend. Again, the temperatures is something that Mercedes do tend to struggle with, and they have done this season. So I think if the temperatures stay quite cool, I think Mercedes should be okay. But if it does rise a little bit towards maybe the end of, beginning of 30s, mid 30s, that's when the Mercedes could struggle, and then we don't know whereabouts they could be, and that's when Ferrari really should be there taking their positions. But that hasn't been the case this season. It's been Red Bull. So maybe Albon could do it. Who knows? I'm excited for Albon, if you can tell, for this weekend. So yeah, I think for me, Hamilton, P2, could be P1, but for me, my P1, I'm not going to go with Charles Leclerc because I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to say it's Sebastian Vettel. I'm gambling on this one because I know it's been a year since Vettel last won his Grand Prix. I know he's very quick here. I know the Ferrari car's really quick. It's just putting 2 and 2 together, isn't it? That's what Ferrari need to do. They've got a good driver, a good car. They just need more. They just need something else. Mercedes have something that Ferrari don't, and Ferrari haven't put their finger on it yet. I've predicted a good second half of the season. I'll say that again. A good second half of the season for Ferrari, but 9 times out of 10, my predictions haven't been that great. So I'm probably going to be wrong with this one, but you never know. You've got to be right at some point, haven't you guys? So I think Ferrari could have a good Grand Prix. I wouldn't rule out a 1-2, but it's just so hard because I'm like, Verstappen's good, Leclerc, that Ferrari car's quick, Hamilton's really good, Bottas, what can he do? Can he get a podium? He's had 2 really bad races, so who knows? He needs a good one to to continue this, to end this bad form. In that time of recording, still nothing's been announced. But by the time you watch this, when this video goes live, something could have been announced. I'm pretty sure we might have covered it, if it has, in the debate show, which comes out on Saturday, which is just hosted by yours truly. So hopefully go watch that if you're interested in that one. But yeah, Vettel does need to win a Grand Prix this season at least. Probably 2 races. One for Vettel, one for Leclerc, to ease the pressure on Ferrari. More so Vettel, because Vettel was expected to win a fair few races this season. He hasn't even... Canada was definitely the closest he came. He crossed the line in first, but then finished in second place. Remember how controversial that was. Leclerc has been leading the Grand Prix. I think he's led the second most laps this season. I think he's on 140 something. I think it was when we read it out. No, it was 120 something. Sorry, 120 laps he's led in the lead, and he hasn't won a Grand Prix. That's not good, but he's still learning, isn't it? The car's still in development. Ferrari do need to have a good solid start of the season. They need a win. They've got 2 really good chances in Belgium and Italy, 2 high-speed circuits where aerodynamics isn't really a key thing, which is why I think Red Bull may be on the back foot. Mercedes want to, more than likely. I think I read somewhere as well. I think Lifestyle Blog posted it. I think he said only Mercedes have only ever had 2 1-2s at Belgium, and one was in 1955 and the other in 2015. So that's a good stat for you. I like that stat. I think that's right anyway off the top of my head. But yeah, so Mercedes 1-2 is quite unlikely, but you never know, do you guys? But I think Ferrari should have a good weekend. I'm hoping they do. They need to have a good weekend, but that's what I'm going to be saying. Anyway, so yes, that's my top 3, my entry. It's going to be Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel. Lyle's, just for a quick reminder, Valtteri Bottas, Lewis Hamilton, and Charles Leclerc. 2 very different predictions for 3 very different drivers. But this is where I'm going to wrap up this preview. Thank you very much for watching as well. Hope you have liked the new format. We might be giving you some more good stats as well. Hopefully going deep into the old archives of races, trying to find some really good stats for you guys. Because I love a stat. I really do love a stat, guys. And whenever I hear a stat, I'm like, oh, that's really, really good. I know Lights Out Blogger, brilliant for those kind of stats. I don't want a copy of him, obviously. I want to try and find my own stats. But if I do come across a really good one from other people, then of course I will mention it, and then of course give them credit, because I don't want to take the full credit when I haven't discovered that stat for myself. So yes, as like I said before in the video, tomorrow there will be a video out explaining the new prediction league. If you do want to leave your predictions, if you are aware of it, then comment below. Just say that just mention that you do want to be in the prediction league, and if you don't want to be in the prediction league, then again let us know. Because if you do leave your predictions top 3, I'm taking that as you want to be entered. If you don't, then please state. Contact us on Twitter as well at F1_DS16. Again, there'll be a few tweets as well. I think I've got a pinned tweet as well. The Belgian flag gif. I will be posting gifs of flags just so you can see it a bit better. Whenever you want to post your predictions, read the tweet. Facebook as well on the exactly same thing. I'll probably post a picture with the race country's flag of the country's flag of where the Grand Prix is being held for that particular weekend. Go and check. So yeah, go and leave your predictions in down there if you do want to enter. Can't wait for it. Really can't wait for it. So yes, Formula 1 is back. Thank God for that. Absolutely brilliant. If you're around here, then please subscribe as well. We are on the road to 1,000, nearly on 900 as well. So that's like the next mini goal. But realistically, I think 1,000 before the end of the season. That is our brand new target. It's definitely achievable. So let's hope that we can make that count. On Saturday as well, don't forget that the F1 debate show comes out then. I think it's episode 130. It'll just be me this weekend. A lot to cover. There is quite a bit of things to cover. So it could be a bit of a longer episode than normal when I'm on my own. So go and check that out if you haven't. Well, sorry, if you haven't already. It's not even out yet. I keep saying that as like a little, it just rolls off the tongue naturally. And go and check that out when it goes live on Saturday, and then check out our race review with Lyle. First time he's doing a review in a while. I think the Canadian Grand Prix, controversial one. I think that was his last one he did, I believe. So a long time waiting for him. Go and check that out to watch his thoughts, my thoughts of the Grand Prix. But anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new around here. Please like the video, and until next time, I'll see you later.